Hey guys, how's it going? MasterBucks here, and welcome to another Champions League prediction / reaction roundup, whatever you want to call it, video. We're going to be going back over my predictions for the quarterfinals and of course reacting to the Champions League semi-final draw and giving my predictions for the semi-finals. Now, in the round of 16, I was 7 out of 8. I was very, very good. I just unfortunately got Manchester City versus Monaco wrong. Now, I felt like I gave some pretty goddamn risky predictions in the quarterfinals, and to be honest, some of them paid off, some of them did not. Let's go over the results. The romantic in me wants to pick Leicester City, and I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for Leicester City. Let's go. That was definitely one of the more riskier picks. Yes, I picked Leicester City. Not really an educated guess more than anything. That was definitely a heart decision more than it was a head decision, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of wanted to be, part of me wanted to be the guy that if they had made it all the way to the big show, all the way to the final, I wanted to have been the guy that said, yeah, of course, I always knew Leicester City were getting in the Champions League final. What are you talking about? You don't believe me? Go back and watch my videos. Atletico Madrid too, by the way. I mean, I don't think they were at their absolute best. They had to rely on away goals and, in the end, a pretty dodgy penalty that they scored in the first leg. Yes, I know there's the whole, if you get fouled outside the box, but you follow into the box, it counts, but come on, that foul was so outside the box. There's no fucking way that you should ever give that as a penalty. I don't know, man. If Atletico Madrid don't play better than what they did against Leicester City, I don't see them going into the final, especially if they get Real Madrid, even Juve. I don't see it happening. They need to lift their performances because they weren't at their best against Leicester. I think I'm going to go with Dortmund. Dortmund getting through to the semi-finals. Now, another game that was shrouded in controversy, but not the sort of controversy that we're used to, with referees making dodgy decisions, which, let's face it, happened a fucking shitload in these quarterfinals. No, this is a controversy that we're not really used to. This is, obviously, you should all know what happened to the Dortmund team bus getting attacked on its way to the game, which is absolutely shocking. Put Mark Bartra in the fucking hospital. Obviously, something like that happening to a team is quite shocking, but what's even more fucking shocking is the way that UEFA handled it. They only gave Dortmund 24 fucking hours to try to get over it and get on with the game, which in my mind is completely fucking appalling. We heard the head coach of Dortmund after the game, after the first leg anyway, say that they were given a real reality check and that their priorities and their thoughts were just scattered everywhere, that football was not the focus at that time when there's been an attempt on your fucking life and you're lucky to still be here. Which all I've got to say to respond to that is, yeah, fucking right on, mate. As if you've only been given 24 hours to go back to work after you've been targeted in a terrorist attack. Imagine if you were just walking down the street, some fucking nutjob put out a gun and started just shooting everywhere. Your boss wouldn't say, oh, okay, you can take tomorrow off, but you can come in on Wednesday, right? I mean, it's not that big a deal. Like, fuck off, mate. I think it's insane that they were only given 24 hours. It's just an absolute joke, and obviously it has had an effect on them in both the first leg and potentially the second leg. I don't know, but obviously, I think even despite the fact that they lost, if Dortmund had even won that game, 24 hours, it was an absolute joke, and it was a fucking embarrassment to UEFA. But fucking Monaco, I gotta say, regardless of all this other shit that went on in that tie, Monaco are shocking everyone, I think. I don't think anyone expected them to get to the semi-finals. Could Monaco actually win the Champions League? That would be absolutely mental if that happens. But I'm going to go Real Madrid for this one. Now, finally, a prediction I actually got right. I think a lot of people expected Bayern Munich to, maybe not a lot of people, I think it would have been quite even actually, but probably leaning more toward Bayern than for Real Madrid. But I had my suspicions. I didn't think Ronaldo was going to go fucking off and score 5 goals, 2 offside, but whatever. This, in my eyes, was the 2 best clubs in world football going at it in the quarterfinals. I can't believe it had to happen that early, but yes, in the quarterfinals. I kind of had the feeling that with history on kind of Real Madrid's side that they would be able to get it done. I did not foresee, however, the absolute fucking shitstorm that second leg would turn into. I gotta be honest, because if you watch that game, you really can't say that that is one of the bigger robberies I think I've ever seen in Champions League, modern Champions League football. Obviously, 2009 Chelsea springs to mind when we think about absolutely shockingly officiated matches, but this is right up there now. There was a little bit of concern with the first penalty. Was it or was it not a penalty? All I know is that the defender definitely stepped in front and he put his leg across. As to whether or not there was any contact, it can be a bit hard to tell. There's definitely an argument for both for and against. Then the massive moment in the game with Vidal getting a second yellow card for a second bookable offence, which was not a fucking bookable offence at all. It was a great tackle. He barely fucking touched him. There was the slightest clip, but I mean, you cannot in your right mind ever give a card or even a foul for that challenge. It was a perfectly fine tackle, and he got sent off for it, and it had massive implications on the rest of the game. Bayern Munich were easily the better side in the second half, and I think they were pushing definitely to go on and potentially win that game, whether it be in extra time or not. And then in extra time itself, the ball gets whipped into Ronaldo, he chests it down, he fires it hard and low into the corner, it beats the keeper, it's 4-3 on aggregate to Real Madrid, but he was offside by a fucking mile. That was a shocking call. I mean, I don't know what one was worse, the Vidal sending off, which was pretty fucking bad, or the linesman missing that offside, because I mean, it wasn't even the only time he was called, or he wasn't, should I say, called for offside for scoring a goal. But that was so fucking terrible. I know there are probably going to be some people on here that think I'm fucking hating or something like that. No, I'm stating facts. He was offside. He was offside by a fucking mile. You can't deny that. It should still be 3-3 on aggregate, and Bayern Munich should still be somewhat in the contest, even though they're down to 10 men, which they shouldn't have even been down to 10 men. And then up the other end in the second half of extra time, you got Marcelo going on a just cutting run right through the middle, like looking like bloody fucking Hatem Ben Arfa against bloody Bolton Wanderers. Beautiful stuff. Running right through the middle. Obviously, they have one less man in the midfield to have to worry about because of the fucking sending off. Cristiano Ronaldo, like fucking classic Ronaldo, just being the fucking goal slut that he is. He's like literally just hanging out with the keeper on the other team, just chilling. And he eventually comes running back to get onside to get the pass from Marcelo. He doesn't come back enough. He misjudges it, or Marcelo does it a bit early. He's just a little bit offside, but definitely you can tell on the replay. And the referee doesn't pick that one up either. That time, you know what? It's a little bit more forgivable considering the fact that it was just margins, but he again was offside. That first goal that put them up on aggregate in extra time was a shocking call. Now, I didn't say whether or not Dortmund would have been able to have gone through had the whole incident with the team bus not actually happened in the first place, because I genuinely didn't know. But I feel so confident that Bayern Munich would have been able to have gone through to the semi-finals had that game been better officiated. I'm just saying, I think that was a bit of a robbery. I'm not saying rigged, I'm not saying favoured, I'm not saying anything like that. I know Spanish teams have a bit of a record of getting favoured a little bit, maybe potentially, in the eyes of some in the Champions League, but I'm not saying anything this time. I'm just saying that was a fucking terribly officiated game, and I'm personally, I know some people are skeptical of VAR, I can't wait for it. Because I tell you, man, shit like this happens way too often in football. When VAR comes in, it's going to happen a lot less. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but a lot less of this shit is going to go on. I'm not sure if they're going to go through past Juventus. And then the final game, which again, this was one of the more riskier picks that I took. Not as risky as, say, a Leicester beating Atletico, but Juve beating Barcelona. I think whenever you tip against Barcelona, it takes a lot of balls. But Juventus, my goodness, they showed fucking balls against Barcelona. Barcelona, what can be said about them? I mean, they are absolutely easily one of, if not potentially, when they are at their very best, the best team in world football. But they're almost never at their best. They're so inconsistent. What the fuck is happening? They will win a game and absolutely pump a team 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, and then the next week, against maybe potentially even weaker opposition, lose 1-0 or something away, or I don't even know. Barcelona are just so inconsistent this year, it is ridiculous. If they were able to put together more back-to-back good performances like Real Madrid and like Bayern, they'd be so much more of a threat, and they'd probably be through into the semi-finals. But no, Juventus did the job against them. Absolutely sensational. Shut them out. Not completely in the first leg. They definitely had chances, but in the second leg, well, that was just I don't want to say a dull 0-0 when it's Barcelona and Juventus, but a goalless stalemate is never really fun, regardless of how it goes. So that's it then. Barcelona knocked out of the Champions League. There's a good chance that Real Madrid, depending on who they get drawn against and if they can continue to do what they're doing, could potentially win the Champions League instead of them. And there's also a good chance Barcelona are going to lose La Liga to Real Madrid as well. It is not a good season for Barcelona. Despite that incredible comeback against PSG, everything else has been very disappointing in comparison. So we're done with the quarterfinals recap. I'm about to watch the UCL draw, react to it, and we're going to see who's going to get drawn against who in the semi-finals, and of course, who's going to get the first home legs as well. All right, we are finally getting underway with the actual Champions League draw, because if you weren't watching when it happened, UEFA bottled it. They've completely bottled it. They've dropped the stream twice. We're all waiting to see who's actually been given what in the semi-finals. It's a joke. I honestly don't know what's worse, UEFA, your fucking servers or your referees. But either way, moving on, we are waiting. All right, Ian Rush is actually up for this one today. So what is he going to pull out? The first club, which is going to be the home leg in the first semi-final, will be Real Madrid is the first club now. Who are they going to get out of the three? We'll find out then. What's he got? What's he got? What's he got? Something screaming Atletico Madrid to me. Why? I think surely they won another final. It's not going to happen. Atletico Madrid in the semis. That's it. It's a Madrid derby in the semi-finals, which obviously means I can probably click off now since we all know what's up. It's going to be Monaco versus Juventus in the other semi-final. We just don't know who the first home leg is going to go to. We're just waiting to see who's going to get the first home leg out of both Monaco and Juve, either or. No matter what you think, it could be an advantage or a disadvantage to either of the clubs, but it is definitely a playing factor, and it's going to go to Monaco. They get the first home leg, and they have an exceptional home record at the moment. So the first semi-final, Real Madrid ended up getting drawn against Atletico Madrid, and this is going to be one hell of a semi-final. I think out of the two, if I had to only watch one, this is the one. Real Madrid recently in the Champions League have got a little bit of a hoodoo on Atletico Madrid. They've come up against them twice in Champions League finals in just, what, 3 or 4 years maybe? I think it's only 3 years potentially. And both times, they've been able to get the job done against them, beating them. Obviously, that Ramos header in the 90th minute in their first encounter, taking them in the extra time and going on to win, I think, 4-1. And then you've got the penalties against them at the San Siro. But a Madrid derby in the semi-finals of the Champions League, I can't wait for it. It's going to be fantastic. It would have been nice to have got the trilogy, but then again, there might be some people that were getting a bit bored. I can't believe I'm saying the word bored there, but bored of an Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid final. We're getting the semi-final go now. I've got to pick a team to go through to the final out of these two, and I think given their record over them recently, how well they've been performing, and how Atletico Madrid haven't really, at least in comparison to previous years, have been performing, I think Real Madrid are going to go through here. I don't think it's going to be any massive blowout or anything, but I think Real Madrid are going to beat Atletico Madrid. And then the second semi-finals, it's Monaco versus Juventus. And honestly, I don't even know how to call this, man. I think a pretty safe bet would be to go with Juventus, because I've been going against Monaco this whole damn time, and every single time they've been able to go through. They've beaten bloody Manchester City when I thought that they would not be able to, and then they've beaten Dortmund. Again, the whole fucking shit that went down with that bloody fixture, but still, credit to them for getting through. I just don't know, man. This is going to be like the battle of the Wonder Kids at this point, isn't it? You've got fucking Paulo Dybala, the young Argentinian striker, the young gun that is going to potentially become a fucking superstar in a jet one day. And then you've got Kylian Mbappe, who is going to make, again, a big club very, very happy one day. They're calling Mbappe the future Thierry Henry, which, to be honest, they did the same thing with Anthony Martial, and, well, that didn't last very long. But it's tough, man. It is fucking tough. You've got an exceptional defensive unit in Juventus that are able to hold out and block out teams like bloody Barcelona, one of the best, if not the best, offensive attacking teams in world football. Couldn't score a goal against them in 2 legs. Then you've got Monaco, another one of the best attacking teams in world football. I think they've scored the most amount of goals out of any other club in the top 5 European leagues. Don't hold me to that, but I think that's correct. So it's a tale of offense versus defense. Who's going to win? I don't know. This is such a fucking tough one to call. I felt like I was pretty comfortable picking Real Madrid going against Atletico, but I have no idea. There's definitely a safe pick. That safe pick is Juventus, but I just don't want to do the safe thing this time. I just don't. Why do I want to pick? You know what? I've picked my... I just cannot. I cannot stomach getting this wrong again. If I fucking don't back Monaco now, after they've proved me wrong twice against Manchester City, against Dortmund, if I don't back them now, I'm going to look like a fool if they make it all the way to the finals. Monaco to go through. Let's have it. Let's fucking have it. Monaco versus Real Madrid is going to be the final. I'm predicting it now. If they can find a fucking way to get past Juventus and to score 1 or 2, especially in the away fixture, which, let's be honest, that's even more difficult than doing it at home. I'm not sure, man. It's such a fucking tough one to call. You know, I've changed my mind. I actually want to watch the Juventus. I actually want to watch Juve versus Monaco more than Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, because it's such a fucking good matchup right there. But yeah, I'm taking a risk. I'm going with Monaco. A lot of people are probably going to go with Juve, and that's fine because I completely understand, but what's going to win your titles? Is it going to be offense or is it going to be defense? Let me know in the comments down below, guys, who you think is going to make it through to the final of the Champions League this year. You already know who I'm picking. I'm going Real Madrid and Monaco. I think Real Madrid is not exactly a safe bet, but probably a safer bet than Monaco to beat Juve. Either way, though, we'll see how it goes. Until next time, guys, my name's MasterBucks. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you have enjoyed. You can click on this video here if you want to watch more of my videos. And until the next one, my name is the MasterBucks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and catch you later.